2020 was a terrible year, but if there's one good thing to come out of it, is that some of the video games were really, really good. It was especially a really good year for free-to-play games, and I don't usually like to include them in any of my lists, but they're definitely good to give an honorable mention to. If I wanted to, I could probably make a top 5 best free games of 2020, like Island Saver was a really good educational kids game about the environment. White Boys with Attitude, you guys are awesome. I gave you some crap in my Let's Play, but you know, I would love to see like rising stars from other musical genres follow in your footsteps. So I really appreciate you guys. Also, Genshin Impact was a really fun Breath of the Wild clone. A little predatory on the microtransactions. Apparently, that's what gotcha means. Whatever. But still a really, really fun open world RPG for what it offers for free anyway. And lastly, Rogue Company, which was a really, really fun third-person multiplayer shooter. I heard Call of Duty Warzone was also really good, but I wasn't going to use up like over 100 gigabytes of space on my PS4 to try it, so yeah. Anyway, here are my top 5 picks for the best games of 2020. Number 5, Dreams. Dreams is more than just a game. It is a game of games, created by all of us, the community. This might be the best game creation tool I've ever seen hit a home console, and even though I can't make anything to save my own life, some of you guys have recreated, or at least recaptured, some of the greatest video games ever made. While some may not feel as finished as others, this is something we can all learn to make with the right amount of patience and commitment. Someone even remade PT. I can finally play PT. Sort of. Even more so, they actually did a whole fan-made Silent Hills game. This is silly but so awesome at the same time. I look forward to coming back to this occasionally to see what you guys have made next. Want to try a game of Lucky Hit? How about try some Lucky Hit? Aw, the ball got stuck. Oh well, still more playable than Cyberpunk. Number 4, Doom Eternal. Honestly, what kind of a best list would this be if I didn't include a Doom game in a year that a Doom game came out in? Doom Eternal amps up the action tenfold while also giving more emphasis on story and lore. It's the kind of sequel that takes daunting risks, and even though it's arguably not better than the previous entry, it still manages to land each change safely. I initially gave criticism to the amount of platforming, but looking back, it was always kind of a thing in Doom from the very beginning. I can only imagine the multiplayer being more balanced now, and if so, Doom Eternal officially stands tall as 2020's best shooter. Number 3, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Now this is a sequel I certainly believe is better than the previous one. Ori and the Will of the Wisps ironed out some difficulty issues from the Blind Forest, giving less emphasis on unforgiving platforming and more general focus on combat. The story, gameplay, pacing, art style, and music are all improved in my opinion, and aside from a few bugs, this game is simply a masterpiece, and is hands down my favorite Microsoft exclusive of the last generation. Number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Holy shit, I love this game. The only reason this isn't my game of the year is because it doesn't tell the whole story of the original work. But if the next chapter is anywhere near as amazing as this one, I'm gonna have to get it. The combat is a perfect blend of action and strategy. All the characters, especially Cloud and Barret, are way more likable than they've ever been. The music is a profound rework of the original score, and I love the new look of, well, everything, from the cityscape right down to everyone's costumes. This is the best Final Fantasy game in the last 20 years. There! I said it. Number 1, Ghost of Tsushima. I'm giving my game of the year to the overall most well-rounded game I've played throughout this year. Ghost of Tsushima just has good everything. Good story, good characters, good combat, good setting and art direction, great music, a satisfying open world to explore, and perhaps the best graphics I've ever seen in any game, with the fastest load times I've ever seen in a game of this size and technical detail. And even though Ghost of Tsushima may be a jack of all trades, master of none type deal, it did an exceptional job of immersing me as a real samurai defending his home, and the free co-op edition further cemented its place on my #1 spot. I love this co-op. But the ending. Oh my god, the game's ending. I'm not crying. You're crying. Now, I realized that I missed quite a few really good games this year, simply because I only have a PS4 and Xbox One. I couldn't play Half-Life Alyx because not only do I not play PC, I also don't have VR, so yeah, double no, unfortunately. Um, I also don't have a Nintendo Switch, which means I didn't get to play the new Animal Crossing, or even better, Hades. Hades is supposed to be amazing, and for all I know, that's probably the best game of 2020 right there. And lastly, I don't have a PS5 yet, so I wasn't able to play Demon's Souls Remake. If I had been able to play all those games, it would definitely be a top 10 best games of the year. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned because coming up next is top 5 not so great games of 2020. Ah, shit. The Gamer Gods! Fail!